Hello and welcome to the mains PYQ discussion by New IAS. This is a question of the 2023 mains from modern India. It's a very interesting question about two personalities, Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore. The question is specific. It's about the difference between Mahatma Gandhi and Tagore in their approach towards education and nationalism. So the structure is pretty much clear in the question itself. First, we'll talk about education, the difference between Gandhi and Tagore. We have followed a table approach here. We have given 4 points each for Gandhi and Tagore. And in the second part would be about nationalism, again a table approach. There we have a little more to talk about Gandhi, 5 points here and 3 points here. We'll start this question by talking about who Gandhi and Tagore were in the context of the national movement. Now, when it comes to Tagore, he was an eminent scholar, a poet, someone who received the Nobel Prize in Literature, and a visionary. Gandhi, on the other hand, was not an eminent scholar. He was a political thinker. He used to write extensively, and his contribution to the national movement was immense. Hence, we can conclude it with this phrase, father of the nation. When it comes to education, they both are not on the contrasting sides, where you have 1 point with Gandhi that you can draw in contrast with Tagore. No, that's not possible. So when you talk about 1 point, you don't have an equivalent of the same on the other side. But we are trying to attempt that here. The first side, Gandhi's idea of education was based on a concept called Nai Talim, which means basic education. Now here you need some explanation because Gandhi believes that the Western form of education was nothing but rote learning. It involved reading, writing, arithmetic, and nothing else. So Gandhi was of the view that this education lacked functionality. And that's how he introduced the concept of Nai Talim. That was his understanding. Next, in the case of Tagore, his idea of education was a combination of both Indian and Western philosophy. Gandhi's was more towards the Indian side. He was completely against the Western system. Even though Gandhi was Western educated, he was against that system. He was against many Western ideas like industrialization, for example. So here it's a combination of Indian and Western philosophy. When it comes to Gandhi, values forms the core of his education system. He believes that a good human being should be the product of education. Whereas British education focused on employability, something that our education system even now follows. But for Gandhi, it was values. For Tagore, nature was core to his system. That's why he established Shantiniketan, the Vishwabharati University, where classes are held outdoors. Nature was not a major tenet in Gandhi's system. Here, values was the major thing. Next up, self-reliance through education. For example, charka. You can see Gandhi carrying a charka. So that is also part of the education, where you become self-reliant with knowledge. And where education leads to employability in that sense. So for Gandhi, employability is more important than skills or optimization. So Gandhi believed that when industrialization comes, it will take away a lot of labor. So you need not have industrialization. You should be self-reliant. You should be engaging in activities like this, and education should foster developments like this. This was Gandhi's idea. You can summarize it with these 2 points, self-reliance and charka. Now when it comes to Tagore, he was more on the aesthetic side. He had art and aesthetics as part of his curriculum. Finally, Gandhi also upheld the dignity of labor. So these are all connected. Opposition to British system, values at the core, self-reliance through activities like charka, and dignity of labor in everything that we do. That is Gandhi's idea of education. When it comes to Tagore, the art is there, the nature element is there, Western philosophy is there, and finally international appeal is also there. When it comes to the nationalism side, again Tagore is more on the philosophical side. He was not an organizer of mass movements or a participant in major activities like that. His contribution was largely on the philosophical side. He accommodated Western ideas in that pursuit. But we have one major resistance from the side of Tagore, which was symbolic in nature. That is during the Jallianwala Bagh incident in 1919, when Tagore returned the Sir position that the British gave him. Sir is a mark of respect, a title that is given by the British Crown. This was returned by Tagore as a protest, as a mark of protest for the Jallianwala Bagh. So this is one thing that you can write. When it comes to Gandhi, nationalistic idea is very simple, something that everybody knows. Truth, non-violence. His idea of state was that of Ramrajya, based on justice. Then he had the idea of self-reliance here as well, that is combined with the idea of Gram Swaraj, self-sufficient village economy. That was his idea. Then, of course, Gandhi was an organizer of mass movement, someone who united multiple sections of the country and launched three biggest mass movements in the history of Indian national movement: the non-cooperation movement, the civil disobedience movement, and the Quit India movement. You may give this as a value addition for this. So Gandhi's idea of nationalism is a direct thing. Every student is going to write that, but Tagore will be difficult. Here you can give these points. So it's a 10 marker. We have given around 5 to 10 points in this answer on the whole in a table format. And we are going to conclude this answer by talking about the diversity of voices in the national movement. Indian national movement is an amalgamation of various voices. We had that diversity in voice and the mode of resistance that is reflected in the form of Gandhi and Tagore. So we'll conclude this answer like this. So that's it. Thank you for listening.